Who are your draft crushes? Nick, go first. Surprise us.
Oh my! I have 3 of them because, of course, this time of year people could just go on and on and on with their draft crushes. I have Kadarius Toney. I love the wide receiver, running back hybrid guys that can play that Deebo Samuel role. I think finding a second guy who can play in that Deebo Samuel guy who can get jet sweeps and so on, catch the ball around the line of scrimmage and do something with it is very important. I think it's a huge need for the 49ers because, like Grant just touched on, Samuel has a lengthy injury history. So getting another Deebo Samuel type playmaker is really important because it's such an important piece of the offense. And every time I talk about Deebo Samuel and how important he is catching the ball around the line of scrimmage or lining up in the background, I go back to the 2019 season when he was huge he had a rushing touchdown against the Rams, had that touchdown against the Seahawks week 17 where he spun. He was electric getting the ball around the backfield in the playoffs. So I feel like getting a second Deebo Samuel is important. I like Kadarius Toney, and I also like Demetric Felton, the running back wide receiver hybrid out of UCLA. So those are my 2 wide receiver crushes. And I also like Quinn Miners, the center. I like him a lot too. And I think the 49ers do need to address interior offensive line. I want to get a long-term right guard in this draft because Dan Brunskill may be that guy, but it seems just ever since Shanahan took over at right guard, there's just a new body there year after year. So finding a long-term solution there. Addressing interior of the offensive line with Quinn Miners.
Geez, I would hate to be around Nick during Valentine's Day in elementary school. He took all the crushes, but I'm gonna go with Javon Holland out of Oregon. Obviously, Bay Area guy, went to high school with Grant, so that already gives some cool. We weren't there
at the exact same time, but we are both Dragons.
Right, exactly. You guys both share the same yearbook. Anyway, so I really like him because of his versatility and his confidence. So like I said with Grant earlier this week, he reminds me a lot of what Jimmy Ward, the impact he makes with the 49ers as far as his ability to obviously play safety as well as move into the slot corner position. I think his utility of being able to play both and having experience playing both is really could be important to any team that ends up drafting him, as well as he just has that swagger and that confidence that I think brings that edge to a defense. So he's somebody I've really been eyeing. I think he'd be a great pick in the second round for the 49ers. I really hope that, he ends up there. I think he'd be a great asset to the team.
So this is what I'm writing on. So I have a lot of names here because I kind of went position group by position group. But Javon Holland is definitely one of them. He did go to Grant's high school. He did go to my college, University of Oregon. So I am quite familiar with what he does. And not only what Suneil said, where he's versatile and can bounce around the defense, but he's also a really good punt returner. And I know the 49ers need that would help out their special teams a lot. And he knows how to intercept the football. And I think the 49ers have been missing that for a couple years now outside of Richard Sherman. They don't really have that ball hawk. And so that would help. And then, as Nick was saying, Quinn Miners is another guy I love because, one, he's a guard center. He can play right guard this year. He plays through the whistle, and he'll add toughness to that right side, which the right side desperately needs next to Mike McGlinchey, and maybe that will help him out this year if he has a bruiser right next to him. And then Miners is projected to be a center eventually, and that timeline fits with what Alex Mack is right now. And when Alex Mack retires, Quinn Miners will be able to slide over there. And my other guys are Paulson Adebo, the Stanford corner. I love, and I think he can slide in when Jason Barrett's contract is up or Emmanuel Mosley if they move on. After a year, that athleticism, once he gets more familiar with NFL defense, I think he'd be a good corner. And to fill your slot wide receiver, Grant, is Jalen Darden. He's a versatile weapon, and he runs a 4.46, and he can really do anything on the football field. He's 5'8", but that works in Kyle's offense, in my opinion, based off of Trent Taylor being a slot receiver in this offense. It's basically a faster, better Trent Taylor, I'd say, with Jalen Darden. And my final one's Jarrett Patterson, the Buffalo running back. And if you miss out on Najee Harris in the first or second round, you can get a 5'7", 197-pound running back that you're incapable of tackling him with your arms. You have to swarm tackle him essentially, and that'd be a good 5th or 6th round pick in my opinion.
All right. Well, you guys have a great list. I'm going to stick with quarterbacks because that's what I've been focused on this year. And I know everyone expects the Niners to take a quarterback at number 3, and they probably will. But I'm still interested in the day 3 guys. To me, there's 2 that are very interesting. I mean, day 3, talking round 4 and on. If Davis Mills is available at round 4 or late round 3, that guy is interesting. I mean, he played at Stanford. There's no one really at Stanford. His numbers aren't great, but he didn't play that much less than Mac Jones did. And watch Davis Mills and compare him to Mac Jones. Mills is bigger. He's more mobile. His arm is stronger. If he had played at Alabama, what would we be talking about him right now? And if Mac Jones had played at Stanford, would anyone know his name, or would he just be McCorkle? I don't know. So Davis Mills is very interesting. And then there's Jamie Newman. I mean, people look at him as like, oh, he's just an athlete, or he's not that. Like, compare him to Trey Lance. He's 6'3", 235. He's a hell of an athlete. He actually played like Division I football. He's got a much bigger resume. I'm not saying he's better than Trey Lance, but if everyone loves Trey Lance, you might have a little love for Jamie Newman too. So those are my draft questions.
And something that's interesting about that, the 49ers have 9 draft picks right now. I don't see them using all 9 of those draft picks. I'm sure there's going to be some shuffling through the 7 rounds. But, I mean, Kyle Shanahan was offensive coordinator when they drafted both RG3 and Kirk Cousins, right? So I wouldn't completely rule it out that they don't draft the quarterback on day 3 after they take their quarterback 3rd overall, if that's what goes down.
Great point. Absolutely. He's done it before. Why wouldn't he do it again?